Hey, what's going on guys? Just Stone here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about movies again because today I went to see the new Spider-Man Far From Home film. So let me apologize for the sort of boring background I have. It's the only place I have at this time. And we're going to talk about Spider-Man. The only Spider-Man thing I have to offer for decoration is this little guy. The little pop vinyl character, but I don't even have anywhere to store him right now, so yeah, he's done his bit. This film was once again directed by Jon Watts, the person who directed Spider-Man Homecoming. I really enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming, and I enjoyed like the sort of fast-paced action, fast pace of the film overall, and the humor involved. And it kind of made me realize, you know, when I was in secondary school or high school, whatever you want to call it, and I was hoping for more of the same from Spider-Man Far From Home. Please just bear in mind, this is going to be a sort of layperson sort of review, just a casual viewer. So I'll just talk about it like that. So to get into the film, I think watching it, I did have certain expectations, but I was trying not to get my hopes up too much. So obviously the film follows on from Avengers Endgame. If you haven't seen that, I would probably more than likely actually advise you to go and watch that, unless you just sort of know what happens in the film, because there are events from that film that push this film on with its storyline, and it kicks off right from the start, like, you know, it references Avengers Endgame. So without trying to go into spoilers, the first part of the film kind of like seems a bit like you're being spoon-fed about what's happened, things like that, but I think it was quite necessary because there was a key part of the whole story of Avengers Endgame which I kind of forgot, and it thought, yeah, it makes sense, and it does play into it with one character in particular throughout the rest of the film. So like I said, the action is still fast-paced, the humor's quick, but the thing is, in my opinion, the humor in this didn't seem to connect with me too much. Sometimes in this, I think the humor, although it was good, I'm not really gonna complain and, like, you know, shoot it down. I felt like the humor sometimes felt like they were just, it was a bit too much. Like sometimes the humor could have been stopped at some points, whereas in Spider-Man Homecoming, I felt that the humor, or pretty much most of it, was like spot on. And in Homecoming, I really liked that part when his friend Ned was caught by the teacher in the library during the school dance, and he answered what he was doing. He said he was looking at porn, and that was just something that really sort of connected with me. It's being like a teenage boy and things like that. When you go through, you know, puberty, things like that, if you look at porn, you think, oh, it's such a risque thing to do. But yeah, that really resonated with me. But with this, although the humor was quite good and it's like very quick, I felt sometimes it kind of dragged on a little bit. But that's not to take away from the film overall, really. So I think the acting in this was really spot on. Obviously, this is Tom Holland's, fourth outing, I think, officially now as Spider-Man, but only his second, like, official Spider-Man feature film. And I think he's done a really good job in terms of, like, the actor himself. For being such a young actor, I think he's done very well. He sort of embodies Spider-Man with the little quips and everything like that. I feel like he sort of had a few more quips in Spider-Man Homecoming rather than in this one. This film's very much more of a sort of coming of age sort of thing for the character himself, for Peter Parker in this film. So I don't really think this spoils anything, but it's very much like he's coming to the realization that with great power comes great responsibility. And throughout watching the film, you'll sort of realize that he's starting to mature as a character, and there's certain things he has to do. And, you know, I won't say any more on that, but the first film was Spider-Man Homecoming was very innocent on, like, you know, the teenager. It was a lot of fun. This one seems to get a bit more serious, but it doesn't have like a serious downtone in it. Like, say, for example, the previous Spider-Man films, especially the ones with Andrew Garfield. A lot of people criticize that for being like too dark, too dreary and that, whereas, you know, the Spider-Man character is supposed to be a bit more upbeat. So this film certainly hits those notes in my opinion, but it's not all fun and games like it was with Spider-Man Homecoming. So another note on the acting, I thought Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio in this film was really good. There was one scene in particular where he just loses his cool, and I thought, wow, that's quite powerful stuff. And I can't say I've seen a load of his films, but some of the films I have seen him, I really appreciate his work. Like one film I've only seen once, but I'd love to see again, is Nightcrawler, and I was really keen to see that. And I really did enjoy it, and I thought he played the part very well in that. And I think in this, like, you know, I was glad in Spider-Man Homecoming they got someone like Michael Keaton, someone I watched as a kid growing up, like as Batman and things like that. He made a comeback. But to go back to this Jake Gyllenhaal, it's like they sort of pick, you know, sort of big name actor to sort of be the co-star in the film, and I think they made a really good choice with this one as well. So yeah, sort of to sum this up, I'd say if you really enjoy your Spider-Man films, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this. Like I say, I'd probably still, out of Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, I'd probably still pick Spider-Man Homecoming over this one. But this one is sort of pushing on, definitely pushing on with the story. Everything's explained. I do like, for example, in terms of like his suits and that, they are all explained. They don't just, with some past superhero films, they just get new suits because it's a new film. But no, this one's all explained. It's all got very good continuity. The one thing I will say though is that one scene in the trailers, it looked really intense and interesting, but it didn't even make it into the film. You probably already know where it is, but if you're not sure, you'll watch it, and if you remember the trailers, you'll be thinking, what the hell happened to that scene? I was really looking forward to that, and I thought like that would be a good introduction to the character in this film, but it was nowhere to be found. So I don't know if they're going to do something like release it as deleted scenes or things like that, but from the trailers, it looked like it really should have been in there. But other than that, the continuity of this film and the story is great, I think. And I just think overall, yeah, it's a good film, but the humour for me sort of dragged it down just a little bit. Please don't let me sort of think like that's me telling you not to go see this film if you're really interested. I don't think you'll be disappointed. One thing I will definitely recommend, as you should know with pretty much all the Marvel Studio films, stick around for the end credits, especially with this one. The first end credit scene, you do not want to miss it. I had heard that there was a sort of like, so with Spider-Man Homecoming, when Michael Keaton was revealed as his love interest, Liz's father, that was a real shocker, and no pun intended on the first film there. But yeah, I went to see that film twice in the cinema, and both times like the audience, like there were actually gasps and things like that, and I had heard there was something similar in this one. I don't think it has the same effect in terms of the storyline, but it really, like, when that scene hit, I was sort of like, my eyes were open again, even though it was the end of the film. I was a bit like, holy shit, what the hell is going to happen here? And there is like, it was just very pleasing, that scene. Like, first of all, it starts off pleasing, then it's a bit holy shit. So I would definitely recommend that. There are 2 post-credit scenes, so stick around for those, but the first one is the one that makes the real impact. So anyway, guys, like I said, that's just a layperson, casual viewer's sort of review or, you know, thoughts on the film. If you did like this, feel free to like, share, subscribe, leave your comments below. And yeah, let's see where they're going to take this Tom Holland story arc or what have you with Spider-Man. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. You guys are great, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.